Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear students in grade 9, prep 3, and our students abroad, today, inshallah, we will study and discuss the new chapter, chapter 3, from A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, first term. The title of the chapter is The Showmaker. Let's start with the summary of the chapter. The Wreck of Dr. Manning. قلنا قبل كده أعزائي الطلاب أن the wreck means بقايا. The wreck of Dr. Manning, بقايا Dr. Manning after he has been set free from the prison. When Devarge opened the door, Mr. Lorry saw a white-haired man sitting on a low bench and busy working on a pair of shoes. He was giving his back to the door and facing the only window in the room. His long white hair and beard contrasted sharply with his dark eyebrows and indicated that they had become so from suffering and agony rather than by age. يعني شعره الأبيض ولحيته البيضاء ابيضوا من المعاناة وليس من كبر السن. When Devarge asked him to tell the visitor his name, he replied 105 North Tower. And I want you, my dear students, to take care of that quotation because it is always repeated in the first term exams. 105 North Tower. That was the answer of Dr. Manette when they asked him about his name. Mr. Lorry tried to make the old man remember him as an old faithful friend and banker, or to remember his faithful servant, but in vain. Lucy Manette put her fear aside and moved slowly towards her father. وضعت مخاوفها جانبا واقتربت من والدها and stood beside him. And Dr. Manette caught sight of her skirt and raised his head slowly until he was looking into her face. The same strands of golden hair. هنا هنشوف أبنائي الطلاب الموقف الذي بدأ ينعش ذاكرة دكتور مانيت when he saw the strands of his daughter's hair and he compared them with the strands that he kept from his wife. خصلات الشعر الذهبية التي احتفظ بها عندما غادر المنزل منذ 18 عاما. The poor man was confused to see a young lady in his prison cell. كان معتقد إن هو لازال في السجن for he still believed he was in prison. He wondered, you are not the jailer's daughter. أنت ألست بنت السجان? Dr. Manette took out a folded rag where he had kept a few strands of his wife's golden hair and picked up Lucy's hair with a gasp, saying, it's the same. How can it be? When was it? عندما قارن خصلات الشعر التي احتفظ بها وخصلات شعر لوسي وجد أنها مطابقة فاستغرب وقال هذه العبارة you are it's the same. Okay, Lucy's golden hair and her lovely face made the old man remember his wife whom he had last seen 18 years earlier before he was taken to prison. Lucy fell to her knees and took her father in her arms, saying, all I can tell you now is that your misery is ended. سوف تنتهي معاناتك. I will take you to England and make you well and make a home for us. Mr. Lorry and Defarge made the preparation for the journey back to England as soon as possible. Defarge picked up the shoemaking bench and tools and followed them down into the street. بمجرد ما نزلوا دكتور مانيت بدأ يسأل where are my tools? When he was leaving, Dr. Manette looked up searching for the towers of the prison and the guards, but he only saw Madame Defarge, who leaned against the door of the wine shop, knitting. I hope he won't regret being recalled to life. أتمنى ألا يندم أنه عاد إلى الحياة مرة أخرى. These words were said by Defarge as the carriage went away. Dr. Manette was once a great and skillful doctor in France, although we are introduced to him as a shoemaker. احنا هنا دكتور مانيت تاريخه بيقول ان هو كان طبيب ماهر في فرنسا ومعروف، لكن الان احنا بنراه في صورة شوميكر. طبعا ده من اثر قضائه في السجن 18 عاما ظلما. This shows how far that he suffered and how his mind and body weakened as a result of his long imprisonment. This also shows how fearful the bastard is. كم كان سجن الباستل مرعبا. The man became a shoemaker, so weak and shaking. He isn't sure of anything. He even forgot his name. He is shocked when he is called by his real name. انصدم عندما ندهوه باسمه الحقيقي، لأنه عاش فيه طول الفترة ولم ينده له أحد بها اسمه الحقيقي. He was used to be named room 105 North Tower. When he was leaving that dreadful city where he suffered great agony, he didn't forget his show-making tools, which became an important part of him. Now, my dear students, let's see the questions and answers. 105 North Tower comment. This is a very important question, and I want you to take care of that question. That was Dr. Manette's answer when Defarge asked him about his name. That was the number of his solitary cell in which he had been imprisoned for 18 years. This was the name he got used to hearing for 18 years that he forgot his own name. What effect had prison left on Dr. Manette? Dr. Manette was greatly affected. ما الأثر الذي تركه السجن على الدكتور مانيت؟ Dr. Manette was greatly affected. He became a wreck of a man. He suffered the loss of mind, the weakness in body. He became frightened, shaking, and uncertain of anything. He could remember nothing of his pastime, even his name. لم يعد يتذكر أي شيء من ماضيه حتى اسمه. Describe the meeting between Lucy and Dr. Manette. When Lucy first saw her father, she pitied his poor condition. أشفقت على حالته المزرية. She was afraid to get closer to him. When she stood beside him and his eyes caught the sight of her, he stared at her because she reminded him of his wife. ذكرته بزوجته. That night, long ago, when I was called out of the house, she had laid her head on my shoulder. She was afraid for me to go. كمل. دي العبارة اللي قالها مس دكتور مانيت عندما بدأ يسترجع ما حدث له من 18 سنة عندما جاءت القوة التي سوف تأخذه من المنزل إلى السجن. Dr. Manette said this when he saw Lucy. She reminded him of her mother and of the night he was taken away to prison. She was sitting with him, laying her head on his shoulder when he was called out. Lucy's golden hair made Dr. Manette remember a detailed scene that had happened 18 years earlier. What is the significance of that? ما مغزى ذلك؟ Dr. Manet had kept a few strands of his wife's golden hair. احتفظ بخصلات من شعر زوجته الذهبي. When he saw that Lucy had the same hair, his memory was refreshed. انتعشت ذاكرته لأن البنت كان لها نفس الشعر الذهبي مثل مامتها, and remembered that the moment he was taken out, دي الكلمة دي نصلحها, taken out of his house to the prison 18 years earlier. This shows that the man's memory wasn't completely lost. ذاكرته لم تفقد بالكلية, and there was a good possibility for him to lead a normal life once more. نصلح الكلمة دي. He was taken passive and this 18 years. You are not the jailer's daughter. Comment. Dr. Manette was confused when he saw a young lady in his prison. كان معتقد إن هو لا زال في السجن. عندما شاف لوسي اعتقد أنها ابنة السجان. In his prison cell. He thought he was still in prison and wondered what brought that young lady there. But when he saw that the young lady had the same strands of golden hair of his late wife, his weak memory was refreshed. Question number 7 and the last one. It's the same. How can it be? When was it? دي العبارة اللي قالها دكتور مانت عندما شاف لوسي وخصلات شعرها الذهبية. بيقول متى حدث ذلك؟ متى كان لي ابنة وهو and he remembered that he left his wife. She was pregnant of that baby. كانت حامل في هذه الطفلة. Dr. Manet said this when he saw Lucy's hair. He was shocked that the young lady had the same hair as his late wife. He didn't know of the birth of his daughter because she was born after he had gone to prison. لم يكن يعرف أن له ابنة لأنها ولدت بعد دخوله السجن. He wanted to know how and when that happened. متى وكيف حدث ذلك. وده نهاية السؤال السابع أو the last question أعزائي الطلاب. Now let's see a short scene of the meeting between Dr. Manet and his daughter. Let's see.
Is he alone?
Alone? God help him, sir. Who should be with him?
Is the door locked?
Always?
Why?
Why? Because he's lived so long locked up alone in prison that he would rave and tear himself to pieces if this door were left open.
Doctor?
Good day, Dr. Manet. Still hard at work, I see.
Yes, I am working.
May I let in a little more light, Doctor? Doctor, you have visitors.
What is that?
There is someone here to see you. Tell this gentleman what kind of shoes you make.
Shoes?
Can you describe the shoes for this gentleman?
They are ladies' shoes.
And the maker's name?
Name? You ask my name?
Yes.
105 North Tower.
Sir, do you not remember me?
شايفين هنا مستر لوري بيقول له ألا تتذكرني؟ شايفين الحالة اللي أصبح عليها دكتور مانيك بعد خروجه من السجن، وهو كان طبيب معروف ومشهور في سانت أنطوان.
You? You're the jailer's daughter.
No.
هنا بيقول لها you are the jailer's daughter. ظن أنها بنت السجان، هو معتقد أنه هو كان لازال في الزنزانة بتاعته. هو خائف ومتردد.
Who are you?
هيبدأ يطمئن لها لما يشوف خصلات شعرها. هيخرج قطعة القماش اللي احتفظ بيها بخصلات شعر زوجته ويقارن ما بينهم.
It is the same. How can this be? Just so long ago when they came to take me away, we held each other, my little girl. She was in my arms. Then when I arrived at the prison, I found these on my sleeve and I've kept them ever since. How is this? Was it you?
No, please.
It cannot be.
We've come to take you away with us. We've come to help you. Please trust us, my dear. Please trust me. Oh, my dear, please trust me. Thank God I found you. I found you again.
شوف هنا هيبدأ يسأل على أدواته.
Tools.
What? What's that?
He wants his tools to make the shoes.
Oh.
A moment, Doctor. I shall be right back.
Shall we, Doctor?
نكتفي بهذا القدر أعزائي الطلاب، وإن شاء الله till we meet again in the new chapter 4. I wish you the best of luck. Don't forget to put like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you and goodbye.